Hey guys, welcome to my YouTube channel, Denise Loves MJ, and I'm your girl, Denise. If you are new to my channel, my content is all about Michael Jackson and the Jackson family. So, if you are a Jackson fan, welcome to my channel. But today, I'm going to do something a little different. I'm going to be talking about an 80s band that was highly influenced by the Jackson family. Who is this band, you ask? The band goes by the name 5 Star. They were branded the UK's version of the Jackson family. But before we get into it, I'm going to let a Jackson introduce you to the band.
Well, which sort of singers do you admire?
I enjoy 5 Star. They remind me a lot of my family.
Do they?
Mm-hmm. Well, because they're family and a lot of
dancing. And they do all the same dances? Some of them.
Well, I saw them for the first time right before I came to London. I saw them for the first time on television, so I got a chance to see them perform. But I think they're great singers, and I really love their work.
All fall down, all fall down, all fall down.
5 Star are an English pop group that consisted of 5 siblings. They were branded as the UK's version of the famous Jackson family. But before we get more into their story, let's get an introduction from the band themselves.
That's 5 Star, all right. Let me gather you in here a little bit. First of all, let me just run down names. May I have your name, sir?
I'm Delroy.
I'm Denise. I'm Doris. I'm Lorraine.
And I'm Stepney.
And the family name is Pearson, right? Are there any more Pearsons at home?
No, this is it.
This is it. All right, fair enough. We ran into people over there with 8 and 9 people in the family.
5 Star had major success between 1985 and 1988. They had 4 top 20 albums and 15 top 40 singles in the UK. The group also found moderate success in the US as well. The group was formed by their father, Buster Pearson, in the image of the Jackson 5.
We used to watch the Jacksons when we were younger, and we loved the Jacksons in our household. There was just so much power in it when you have 5 people dressed identically. And the music and the singing and the dances, it all just gelled together nicely. I just can't control my feet. As a music biz insider, Denise's dad Buster knew this too, and could see there might be a market for a British version of the American superstars.
And just like Joe Jackson was the manager to his 5, Buster Pearson was also the manager to 5 Star and the driving force behind their group as well. And the two men also had something else in common. Both men were previous musicians that were a part of their own bands in their younger years.
He was the undisputed head of the family and manager of 5 Star, and in true family band style, he'd had a previous musical career as backing guitarist to a number of 60s legends.
Buster Pearson was reluctant in the beginning to have his children be a part of the music business because he knew all too well about the dark side of the industry. But once Buster decided to officially allow his children to have a professional recording career, he signed them to his independent label, Tent Records, where they released their first single, Problematic. As we could see, that was an epic failure. The single and 2 others after it failed to chart, but it gave them TV exposure, which led to a record deal with RCA Records, which would be a joint venture with Buster Pearson's Tent Records label. Needing to rebrand the group's image and sound, American producer Nick Martinelli was brought in. He had previously worked with legends like Gladys Knight and Diana Ross, just to name a few. Martinelli ended up producing the group's first hit single titled All Fall Down.
Nothing makes you feel that way. It's taking me up to the highest love I've ever known. I'm dizzy when I think of you.
Welcome 5 dazzling young entertainers who are visiting us from their home just outside London, England. They are all blood brothers and sisters and all very talented. This is their latest single on the RCA label entitled All Fall Down, and they are 5-star.
All fall down, all fall down.
The single reached number 15 on the UK charts and reached number 16 on the US R&B charts, giving the group their first top 20 hit. Each sibling contributed their own individual talent to the group. Doris, who was the choreographer for the band, stated that she just wanted to be in the band to become famous enough just to meet Michael Jackson.
Where ideas from?
Well, when I do each routine, I've got to think of a new step all the time. So each time it goes on, it gets harder and harder for me. But I've just got to use my imagination. I like to emphasize on the feet and the arms a lot, and also the head, because that helps the moves look much sharper.
Elise, you sing lead on all the singles, don't you? How come?
Well, all the other four got together and they thought the hardest job is the lead singing, so they said, why not show it on Denise?
Let's have a look at some of your designs. Okay. And you designed some of these colours, didn't you?
Yes, that's right. This one was designed for Can't Wait. We used this one for the Can't Wait video.
So why do you choose these particular designs and colours?
Doris, like I said before, designed the costume, and she knew what colours she wanted to use. So what we did, we sat down and we compromised together and took it to the dressmaker, and we just made them up.
Now, Dora, you're the technical-minded one of the group, aren't you?
Yeah, you could say that.
Well, what exactly do you do?
Well, I like messing about with electronic equipment since I was very small, and now I'm into programming drum machines.
Now, I've asked you to give me a 5-star look.
5-Star released their debut album titled Luxury of Life, which included their next hit single, Let Me Be the One, reaching the top 20 in the UK and was their highest charting single in the US, charting at number 2 on the R&B charts. The last single off the Luxury of Life album was a big hit for the group, earning them platinum status. The single titled Systematic was a futuristic song about technology overload.
And when the electricity starts to flow, systematic, I never can get enough. Systematic.
With the success of more hit singles, 5-Star embarked on a promotional tour in the U.S. During this time, Disney came calling and offered the band their own TV show, but their father/manager declined the offer. He wanted 5-Star to focus on their follow-up album. With a new batch of producers, 5-Star released their second album titled Silk and Still, which gave them more hits. But their single Rain or Shine became their highest charting single ever, becoming very successful in the UK, only being held off number 1 by Madonna's True Blue. The album went on to produce 5 hit singles and won them a Brit Award for Best Group. The band were at the height of their success. They met the Queen, they were performing at sold-out venues, and even performed at the legendary Wembley Stadium. And just like the Jacksons purchased their Havenhurst estate at the height of their fame, 5-Star purchased a large compound of their own where the whole family resided, along with a fleet of high-end cars.
The first album sold 15 million. Then they moved over to Country Pile in Berkshire, which, according to whoever you believe, cost between 2.5 and 5 million.
The black Lamborghini at the end belongs to Denise, as you can see. Denise going to her car. This Mercedes Sports belongs to Doris, which you can't get open at the moment. She's very embarrassed.
I had a Ferrari, a red Ferrari, 328. It was beautiful, but I washed it more than I drove it.
The red Ferrari belongs to Lorraine.
Actually, I didn't buy a flash car. I really didn't.
The red Mercedes belongs to Stead.
The ultimate car for me was the Audi Quattro 1986. That was my pride and joy.
And what about this one here, this whacking great thing?
This thing is the family car.
The Pearson family from Romford have come a long way from their old terraced house and an Audi car. Now it's a vintage Rolls and a £1 million mansion in Surrey. Fame and fortune from the all-family business that is 5 Star. It's brought a string of hit singles and albums, and last year being voted the best band in Britain. About their biggest fear now is being trampled underfoot by enthusiastic pressmen. According to their record company, they're already mega stars. A UK tour and an American visit this year are designed to ensure that that glitter doesn't wear thin.
I can see what is on your mind. I can tell, 'cause I know the sign. You're victimized. She played a trick on you.
After the success of Silk and Steel, 5 Star released their third album titled Between the Lines, with the single Whenever You're Ready. The album was another platinum seller, but it did not live up to the success of the first 2 albums. In 1988, the group changed their bubblegum cookie-cutter image for a more adult look and harder sound. The cover of their 4th album, Rock the World, drew inspiration from Michael Jackson's Bad album cover that was released the previous year. And I will also say somebody got a little bit of LaToya Jackson and Janet in there too. And you can hear some of MJ-inspired vocals in the album's first single, Another Weekend. The album had moderate success. It was their last album to reach the top 20 on the UK charts, and their second single, Rock My World, was their last top 40 hit. Other singles from the album were unsuccessful, and this album marked the beginning of the decline for the group. But before we continue, let's check in with Doris and see if she ever got that meeting with Michael Jackson.
Any more on the Michael Jackson front, by the way, Doris? I must ask you, mustn't I? You've been linked with Michael Jackson.
I met Michael Jackson in Sweden, actually. I went to see him in concert. It was really great.
But tabloid newspapers told me you were going to marry him. No truth in that rumour.
Yes, there is, but... No. No.
In 1989, 5 Star released the Greatest Hits collection that charted at a really low 53, and things didn't get better from there. While promoting the album on a TV show called Going Live, a disgruntled caller called in and verbally attacked the group.
Okay, let's go back to the phones. Line 2.
But the pretensions of their lavish lifestyle began to attract critical voices.
Elliot and the dog.
Yeah.
What's the dog's name?
Tammy.
Good morning, Tammy. Okay, Elliot, what's your question?
I'd like to ask 5 Star where they're so fucking crap, they're fucking
Thanks very much, Elliot. Nice to hear from you. I'm sure Tammy would have made a lot more sense. Let's move on to line 3.
The decline in controversy continued. Lorraine Pearson had one of the shortest engagements known to man to actor and comedian Eddie Murphy, who wasn't the prince in shining armor that she thought he would be. The media started reporting that the band went bankrupt and was evicted from their mansion, but 5 Star refutes the claims.
The Sunningdale shopaholics weren't as rich as they thought they were, and when the hits dried up, their creditors came a-calling.
Today, the house, thought to be worth some £2.5 million, stands deserted and empty. The 5 Star dream apparently at an end.
Offended, it was like, because we didn't call the press we were hiding something. So the next day I see this guy that's been paid to climb over our fence to say it's the bailiff trying to get in to get us out.
So you weren't evicted from the house?
No, not at all.
You left of your own accord?
There weren't any bailiffs that turned up at our house at all.
There was no repossession, no.
There were no repossessions of any of our things.
I represent the mortgage company. We repossessed the house yesterday. The position now is that it is to be sold. We will get advice on the best way of selling it, and it will be marketed in the very near future.
And to top it off, Stedman was arrested for public indecency in a public bathroom.
This is the fall of 5-star. Stedman was caught in the public toilets doing the naughty. I'd stopped off and I needed to go to the bathroom. So we asked this lady, do you know where there are any public conveniences? So I went in, did what I had to do, but there were 2 police officers, and before I knew it, I was pinned against the wall because I was literally washing myself.
I would like to ask, what leisure activities do you like to do in your spare time?
Hello, this is Stedman, and I like to...
Loiter.
Yes. Apart from loitering, I like to make model cars.
If he did what he did, he was stupid. You know, but I didn't have anything silly to say to him that you shouldn't do this and you shouldn't do that. Let boys be boys. But you got to know where to be boys.
Stedman was also accused of getting plastic surgery done so he could look like Michael Jackson.
Were you a fan of the Jacksons? I mean, were you obviously aware of them, but were you...
Very much aware of them. I was very much a big fan of Michael's. I remember when Off the Wall came out, and I used to listen to him. And there were programs I would watch with the Jacksons, and I'd somehow relate to Michael so much, and I didn't understand why. But as life went on, you kind of understand yourself a little bit more.
Were you under pressure to be like Michael Jackson? Did your father or anyone put pressure on you? No.
Buster never put pressure on me to be like Michael. It just happened to be that way. I'm just softly spoken the way he is. I've not had any kind of surgery to look like Michael. I'm just the way I am.
By 1990, the group was in dispute with RCA. So Buster Pearson signed the group to Epic Records, and they released their 5th album titled 5-Star. The album failed to chart, even though it had heavy promotion. Later that year, the family relocated to Los Angeles to try to take their go at the music market there, and to escape the scrutiny of the UK media, which was their reason for leaving their mansion, not the reason of bankruptcy, as the media had previously reported. 5-Star released their 6th album titled Shine. Unfortunately, this album was not a success, so Epic Records ended up dropping the group. 3 years would pass, and the group would go on and release 2 more albums, Heart and Soul and Eclipse, independently on their dad's label. Both albums ended up flopping, and the group officially closed the chapter on what was known as 5-Star. Sadly, in 2012, Buster Pearson passed away. Lorraine went on to work in retail and as a receptionist. She got married and had a daughter. She also survived a battle with breast cancer and lives a pretty low-key life. Delroy got married and had a family as well, and continued producing and writing for other recording artists. Doris went on to be a songwriter for other recording artists, and she's very active on social media. You can also catch Doris performing some choreography routines here on YouTube. Stedman went on to record his solo album and perform and make appearances on reality TV. He also got the opportunity to play Michael Jackson in the tribute show Thriller Live, a concert review celebrating the music of Michael Jackson and the Jackson 5. Denise got married and started a family of her own, but that did not keep her away from the limelight. She released solo projects and made appearances on reality TV as well, even appearing in the UK's version of The Voice. She also performed in Thriller Live, singing a medley of Michael Jackson's hit songs. Denise also has been performing Jackson medleys with Tito Jackson for the past 5 years. You can catch some of their performances here on YouTube.
When I had it too much up, I didn't wanna you were around. Those are pretty faces always made you sad I can't cry.
The siblings reunite from time to time, performing at nostalgia festivals.
They remember all the artists here, you know, and yeah, it's just a lot of fun. It's
Playing with the band is great. I mean, those guys should be applauded. They have to learn, what, 50-odd songs, and they play them every time perfectly.
It's never old. It's never old.
But don't count on seeing Lorraine Pearson perform. Her and Denise had stopped talking for a couple of years because Lorraine found out that Denise was booking 5-star for performances with backup dancers replacing her siblings. So there you guys have it. This was the group 5-Star, an 80s band that was inspired and influenced by the Jackson family. If you like this video, please leave me a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe and comment and share. And I will see you guys on the next video. Bye.
I thought we had to handle my